Let me tell you a truth most men are too scared to say out loud. The most powerful manipulator in your life isn't your boss, the government, or your enemies. It's her. The woman you're dating, the woman you're married to, the woman you're chasing. Now, before the internet grabs its pitchforks, let me clarify. This isn't about hating women. This is about understanding human nature. Because if you think manipulation is exclusive to politicians and salesmen, you're already losing. Women don't use brute force. They use influence. Subtle, soft, often disguised as emotion, but devastatingly effective. You think you're in control. You think you're calling the shots. But most of the time, you're reacting to carefully crafted moves she made days or even weeks ago. Women don't manipulate with facts. They manipulate with feelings. And if you're not fluent in emotional language, you're not just vulnerable, you're a puppet. Let's break it down. One of the oldest and most effective tactics is what I call selective submission. She acts soft, agreeable, feminine ... when it suits her. She lets you think you're the leader. She nods along, makes you feel powerful, makes you feel respected, until she wants something. Then suddenly, there's a shift. She withholds that submission. Not aggressively, but subtly. The sweet tone changes. The cooperation turns into passive resistance. She doesn't say no directly. She just stops being pleasant, stops being fun. And your brain, hardwired to crave peace and feminine warmth, starts panicking. You start wondering what you did wrong, and she never has to say a word. She trains you like a dog with treats and silence. Then there's emotional withholding. This one's a classic. Everything's great. You're close, connected, maybe even physical. Then she goes cold. Not dramatically, just ... different, distant. You ask what's wrong? I'm fine. You try harder. More attention, more compliments, more effort. She says less, gives less, pulls back, until you're working double time just to get back to baseline. Here's the trick. There was never anything wrong. She just needed to feel powerful again. And now you're chasing. She's recentered the emotional dynamic. You're investing more. She's doing less. And she gets to call it a mood. How about guilt framing? This one's psychological warfare. She brings up your past mistakes, not to resolve them, but to control you. Remember when you made me feel like I wasn't enough? She says right after you saying no to something. Suddenly you're on the defensive. You forget the topic. You're apologizing again for something that happened months ago. This tactic works because it weaponizes your integrity. If you're a decent man who wants to be fair, you'll back down. She knows that. So she frames every disagreement as a moral failure. You're not just disagreeing with her. You're being mean. You're being cold. You're being just like that ex she barely escaped. Let's talk about future faking. You hear this one early in dating, especially from the ones who want to secure your investment fast. She talks about future plans, hypothetical vacations, imaginary families. She mirrors your values. Talks about being a ride or die, a traditional woman, whatever you say you want. And you think, finally, a real one. But the second you commit, the second she knows she's got your loyalty, the promises fade. The behavior changes. The nurturing disappears. Because the future was never the plan. It was the bait. Another manipulation tactic that flies under the radar is social leverage. This is when she subtly threatens your social standing without saying it directly. She complains to her friends, posts vague stories, plays the victim. Now you're not just dealing with her. You're dealing with her entire social circle. And she knows the power of public perception. She knows you don't want to be the guy everyone thinks is controlling, cold, or distant. So you comply. Not because she argued better, but because she used reputation as a weapon. And then there's the nuclear option, weaponized vulnerability. This is when she cries not because she's hurt, but because she wants control. She doesn't need a solution. She needs you to feel bad. And once you feel bad, once you feel responsible for her emotions, you'll do anything to make them stop. Even if you're right, even if your boundary was fair, she turns emotion into leverage. Now you're negotiating with guilt instead of facts. And she always wins that negotiation. It gets darker. Ever heard of sexual gatekeeping? It's not just about withholding intimacy. It's about using intimacy as a scoreboard. If she's happy, you get connection. If she's upset, you get nothing. And she always has a reason. She's tired, stressed, not in the mood. But somehow, the mood never stops her from going to brunch with her girlfriends or taking selfies for Instagram. Only you get punished. It's not about affection. It's about control. She turns your natural desire for connection into a tool for behavioral conditioning, reward and punishment. Just like training a dog. Here's the part that stings the most. These tactics work best on good men, on loyal men, on men who care. Because the abusive ones, the selfish ones, they don't respond to this stuff. They walk away. They ignore the drama, and she knows it. But you have empathy. You have conscience. You try to do the right thing, which makes you the perfect target for emotional manipulation. She doesn't have to raise her voice. She doesn't have to threaten. She doesn't have to hit you. All she has to do is make you feel like a bad person, like you're not doing enough, like you're failing as a man. And the second you accept that framing, the second you internalize it, she owns you. And society? It backs her up. Every TV show, every romantic comedy, every pop psychology article tells you the same thing. Happy wife, happy life. Translation: your feelings don't matter. Your needs are negotiable. Your boundaries are optional. If she's upset, you're to blame. If she's happy, you're lucky. Let me make this painfully clear. Relationships are supposed to be built on mutual respect, not psychological warfare. But when one side is playing chess and the other is playing checkers, it's not a relationship. It's a power imbalance. And you're losing. So how do you protect yourself? How do you spot these tactics before they start to rot your spine? Start by trusting your instincts. When something feels off, it usually is. When you feel like you're always apologizing, always explaining, always trying to prove you're good enough, you're being manipulated. Healthy relationships don't make you feel like you're constantly on trial. Watch her patterns, not her words. Manipulators speak in poetry and act in puzzles. They promise the world, then punish you for asking about it. If her words say love, but her actions say leverage, believe the actions. And stop rewarding bad behavior. If she goes cold, don't chase. If she guilt trips, don't explain. If she weaponizes her emotions, walk away. You're not her emotional support animal. You're a man. Start acting like one. Now here's where it gets uncomfortable. Some of you are thinking, but not all women are like this. And you're right, not all are, but enough are. Enough that this knowledge will save your peace, your purpose, and maybe even your life. And here's the truth women hope you never learn. The second you stop being emotionally programmable, you become free. The moment you stop negotiating with guilt, you become powerful. When you learn to see through the tears, the silence, the smiles, the threats disguised as compliments, you start to reclaim your soul. She doesn't want you to see the playbook. Because once you do, the game's over. You start setting boundaries. You stop explaining your worth. You stop folding every time she frowns. And suddenly, her magic stops working. Her influence fades. And she's faced with something terrifying, a man she can't control. The question is, are you ready to be that man? Because once you see the tactics, there's no going back. You either go numb and become her puppet, or you wake up and become sovereign. So choose wisely. The manipulation only works on men who don't know they're being manipulated. Now you know. Act accordingly.